The motel manager saw the widow and made up his mind. No room, no pity, no problem. Evelyn Carter stood in the doorway of the Blue Lantern Motel with rain dripping from her gray coat and a sleeping little boy pressed against her side. The lobby smelled like burnt coffee, wet carpet, and cheap lemon cleaner. The neon sign outside buzzed blue through the glass. Every few seconds, thunder rolled over the highway like a warning. Evelyn only needed one night, one dry room, one locked door. But before midnight, someone had to open room 12. The man behind the desk did not smile. His name tag said Gary. He looked at Evelyn's soaked shoes first, then her torn suitcase, then the boy in her arms. "Check-in requires payment up front," Gary said. Evelyn swallowed. Her lips were pale. Her hands shook from cold. "I know," she said. "I have some cash. Not enough for 2 nights, but enough for 1. My grandson has a fever. We just need to get out of the rain." The little boy, Noah, coughed into her shoulder. It was a small cough, but it sounded deep. A woman near the vending machine looked over. A truck driver stopped stirring his coffee. The TV above the desk played weather alerts with the volume low. Gary leaned back in his chair. "We don't take problems here." Evelyn blinked. "I'm not a problem." Gary gave a short laugh. "That's what everyone says." In the far corner, under the flickering lobby light, a biker sat alone. Big shoulders, gray beard, black leather vest, a coffee cup untouched in front of him. His boots were muddy, and a silver chain hung from his belt. He had been quiet since Evelyn walked in, but his eyes lifted. Gary pointed toward the door. "There's a shelter 30 miles south." Evelyn held Noah tighter. "My car broke down outside town." "Then call someone." "I don't have anyone." That answer changed the room, not loudly, quietly, like a match going out. Gary sighed hard, making sure everyone heard how tired he was of people like her. "Lady, I'm running a motel, not a rescue home." Evelyn nodded fast, like shame had trained her to agree. "I understand," she whispered. She turned to leave. Noah coughed again, harder this time. The biker's chair scraped the floor. Everyone looked. He stood slowly, not angry, not loud, just certain. Gary frowned. "This doesn't concern you." The biker stepped into the yellow lobby light. Rain tapped the window behind him. "It does now," he said. And before midnight, someone had to open room 12. The biker walked to the counter with slow, heavy steps. His name was Mason Cole, though nobody in that lobby knew it yet. He placed a folded $100 bill on the desk. "One night," Mason said, "for her and the boy." Gary looked at the money, then at Mason. "That's not how this works." Mason's voice stayed calm. "It is tonight." Evelyn shook her head quickly. "No, please, I can't take that." Mason did not look away from Gary. "You're not taking it. He is." Noah stirred in Evelyn's arms. His cheeks were too red. His breath came in little whistles. The air smelled like old carpet, coffee, and rainwater. The lobby light buzzed. Outside, tires hissed on the wet highway. Gary pushed the money back with 2 fingers. "We're booked." The truck driver near the coffee machine turned his head toward the empty key rack. 11 keys hung there. Room 12 was not on the rack. Evelyn noticed it too. "Please," she said, "any room. I can clean it myself. I used to clean rooms at the Ridgeway Inn. I won't bother anyone." Gary's face tightened. That made it worse. "You worked in a motel." Evelyn lowered her eyes. "My husband and I did." "Years ago," Gary smirked. "Then you know rules matter." Mason leaned closer. "Screw people." Gary looked past him, toward the glass office door behind the desk. Inside, a man in a tan coat watched through the blinds. He had slick hair, clean shoes, and a smile that did not belong in a storm. This was Calvin Drake. He owned half the strip mall across the road. He wanted the Blue Lantern cleared out by morning. He wanted it sold cheap. And Gary wanted the bonus Calvin promised him. Gary turned back to Evelyn. "Leave, before I call the police." Noah whimpered. A young housekeeper appeared near the hallway. She was small, with curly hair pulled into a messy bun and a laundry towel over her shoulder. Her name was Rosie. She looked at Noah and gasped. "That child is burning up," Gary snapped. "Rosie, go fold towels." Rosie did not move. Evelyn whispered, "I just need to sit for a minute." Gary reached for the phone. That was the second humiliation. The first was being denied. The second was being treated like danger. Mason placed his gloved hand over the phone, softly, firmly. "No." Gary stared at him. Mason's eyes moved to the missing key tag. "Where's room 12? Gary's face changed, just a little. But Mason saw it, so did Rosie, and before midnight someone had to open room 12. Rosie forced progress because she could not stay quiet. She hurried to Evelyn with a clean towel. "Here," she said. "For the little guy," Gary barked. "I said hallway, now." Rosie ignored him and touched Noah's forehead. "He needs medicine. Maybe a doctor." Evelyn's voice cracked. "I had medicine." It was in the car. The glove box jammed. "I tried to open it, but the rain." Noah coughed again. This time his whole body shook. The lobby changed fast. The smell of coffee faded under wet wool and fear. The TV flashed a red weather warning. Lightning lit the window white. Somewhere down the hall an ice machine clunked and groaned. Evelyn sank onto the lobby chair. "I'm sorry," she kept saying. "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Rosie knelt beside her. "Stop saying sorry, hold him upright." Mason turned to the truck driver. "You got a tire iron?" The man nodded. "In my rig? Get it." Gary stepped around the desk. "Nobody is going outside. Nobody is breaking into a car on my property." Mason looked at him. "Her child needs medicine. He is not my child." The words landed ugly. Even Gary heard it. Evelyn closed her eyes like the sentence had hit a place already bruised. Then Calvin Drake opened the office door. His cologne rolled into the lobby, sharp and expensive. "Gary," Calvin said smoothly, "handle this." Mason turned. Calvin smiled at Evelyn. "Ma'am, there are programs for people in your situation." Evelyn looked up. "What situation is that?" Calvin's smile stayed. "The kind we're moving on is best for everyone." There he was, the temptation villain. Not loud, not dirty, not cruel in a simple way. He was polished. He was the old world whispering, "Disappear quietly. Make it easy for people with money." Gary liked that voice. It made him feel important. Rosie did not. She stood up. "Room 9 is empty." Gary glared. "Room 9 has a leak. Room 6, reserved. For who?" Gary did not answer. Mason stepped close to the desk again. "Room 12, he said. Calvin's smile finally slipped. Evelyn heard the number and froze. "No," she whispered. Mason looked at her. "You know that room?" Her fingers moved to the chain around her neck. Hanging from it was a tiny brass key tag. Old, scratched, faded. The number on it was almost gone, but not gone enough. 12. "My husband gave me this," she said, "the night he died." The room went silent. Rain beat hard against the windows. Before midnight, someone had to open room 12. Mason's face changed when he saw the key tag. Not shock, recognition. He reached into his vest and pulled out an old photo folded at the corners. He placed it on the counter. The picture showed a younger Mason beside a tow truck. Next to him stood a smiling man in a Blue Lantern Motel jacket. Evelyn covered her mouth. "That's Daniel, my husband," Mason nodded. "Daniel Carter pulled me out of a wreck 12 years ago. Highway 14, black ice. My bike went under a logging truck. The truck driver crossed himself." Mason tapped the photo. "He stayed with me until the ambulance came. Kept me talking. Told me about his wife. Said she made terrible coffee but sang in the kitchen every morning." Evelyn gave a broken laugh through tears. "I did make terrible coffee." Mason's voice lowered. "He saved my life." Gary looked confused. "What does that have to do with my motel?" Mason turned to him. "Everything." Calvin stepped forward. "Careful." Mason ignored him. "Daniel called me 3 months before he died. Said Calvin was pressuring him to sign papers. Said Gary was helping lock him out of motel records." Evelyn stared at Gary. "What records?" Rosie slowly backed toward the office door. Gary snapped, "Rosie, don't." She opened it anyway. Inside, under a stack of folders, sat an old metal box. On the top was written, "Room 12, Carter Storage." Evelyn stood, weak but steady. Gary moved to block her. Mason stepped in front of him. "No!" Rosie carried out the box. Her hands shook as she placed it on the counter. Evelyn lifted her brass key tag. It fit. The lock clicked. Inside were papers. A deed copy, insurance letters, a sealed envelope, and a small velvet pouch holding Daniel's wedding ring. Evelyn cried then. Not pretty, not quiet, a real cry, the kind grief saves for the moment it finally finds proof. Mason opened the envelope. His jaw tightened. He read only one line aloud. "To my Evie, if they try to take everything, start with room 12. Calvin turned toward the door. The truck driver blocked him. Gary whispered, "I didn't know it was real." Rosie looked at him with tears in her eyes. "You knew enough." Mason pulled another paper from his vest. A purchase agreement. "I bought the Blue Lantern last week," he said. Gary went pale. Calvin stopped breathing for a second. Mason looked at Evelyn. "Daniel left me a message years ago. Said if anything happened, protect room 12. I was late." His voice broke. "But I'm here now." Before midnight, someone had opened room 12, and the whole motel had to answer for what it hid. The police came in through the rain. So did a county clerk. So did two neighbors who remembered Daniel Carter fixing heaters for free in winter. The lobby filled with wet jackets, whispered shame, and the smell of strong coffee Rosie kept making in paper cups. The neon sign buzzed blue outside. The storm softened, like even the sky had spent itself. Gary sat behind the counter with his hands folded. He looked smaller now. Calvin Drake talked fast until the clerk asked one quiet question. Why were Mrs. Carter's insurance notices mailed here and never forwarded? Nobody spoke. Evelyn held Noah, now breathing easier after his medicine. The truck driver had opened her car. Rosie had found a blanket. Mason had called a doctor he knew from a veteran ride group. Caregiving chaos had turned into a circle. One person got medicine. One person made coffee. One person held the door. One person called for help. That was how people survived. Not through speeches, through hands. Mason placed the room 12 key in Evelyn's palm. "It's yours tonight," he said, "and tomorrow we fix the rest." Evelyn looked down at the key. "I don't know how to begin again." Rosie smiled through tears. "You already did. You came inside." That simple line nearly broke her, because all night Evelyn had believed she was asking for too much. A chair, a room, a little mercy. But Daniel had left her more than a key. He had left proof. He had left a trail. He had left one last door. Gary stood slowly. "I'm sorry," he said. Evelyn looked at him for a long moment. The lobby went quiet again, not tense this time, waiting. "I hope you mean that," she said. "But sorry does not feed a child. Sorry does not bring back a house. Sorry does not undo what fear made you do." Gary lowered his head. Mason nodded once. That was the reckoning, not revenge, truth. By morning, Calvin's deal was dead. Gary was gone. Rosie became front desk manager. Room 12 became the first room in a small program for widows, veterans, and families stuck between disaster and tomorrow. They called it Daniel's Door. Months later, Evelyn worked in the lobby garden with Noah beside her. The air smelled like fresh paint, rain-washed soil, and diner coffee from across the road. Motorcycles rolled in every Friday. Some riders stayed, some donated, some just sat with people who felt invisible. Mason still took the corner chair, same boots, same quiet eyes. But now when someone walked in soaked, scared, and ashamed, nobody asked if they belonged. Rosie would simply reach for a key, and Evelyn would say, "Before midnight we open the door."